must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
A very good morning to you, and thank you so much for finding time to be with us today. This is Kenya, Africa at a glance, where we get to bring you the latest news from the Republic of Kenya, as well as news making headlines across the continent of Africa. My name is Miriam Ogutu, and as usual, we are coming to you from Kenya's capital here in Nairobi. And before I bring in my panelists this morning, I'd just like to take us through the newspapers here in Kenya. And the Star newspaper, the main headline, Uhuru Mudavadi disappointed me. As at State House meeting a day after the Sunday earthquake, the president tells Luhya leaders to get ready and hit the road. The story is on page 6. And worker whose ID was found at Monica's house takes the stand. That is the killing of the late Monica. And of course, the case is ongoing in the Kenyan court there. And DP Ruto Musalia borrow Jubilee deal formula for 2022 campaigns. You'll find that on page 8, and Odinga Mount Kenya tycoons war Ma community. So that is what we have on the front page of the Star newspaper. And on the Standard newspaper, Raila Ruto fate in Kalonzo's hands. That is the main headline. After Mudavadi's earthquake, the spotlight now turns to Wiper leader. Whichever way he plays his cards will have a major impact on former Prime Minister and DP's fortunes. At the ballot, where will he place his bet? That is on page 8. On the Standard newspaper. And then just beside that, UDA Mudavadi allies disrupt House business. That is on page 6. And online lessons to address shortage of teachers. That is according to TSC, page 5. And Kenyan Star, one win away from Australia quarters. That is on page 43 of the Standard newspaper. And then we turn our attention to the Daily Nation. Mudavadi, Ruto hand Uhuru Raila shock defeat in what promises to be a stormy last session of the 12th Parliament. MPs allied to DP Ruto, ANC leader Mudavadi, and Ford Kenya Chief Moses Wetangula have ganged up to paralyze Parliament. You'll find that on page 4. And Nairobi's reach hit by sharp inflation rise, that is on page 10, and more disputes dog Kajwang succession, that is on page 11, and civil servants have 2 weeks to resign. And that is according to a ruling yesterday in one of the courts on the backstory, and I think we will look at that, and why Uhuru's dalliance with Musalia ended in a stillbirth. So at this point, I'd like to bring in, Wesonga. Wesonga, very good morning to you.
Yes, a very, very good morning to you, Miriam Ogutu in Nairobi. Good morning to our viewers who are joining us this morning. It is my pleasure to be on the conversation this particular morning.
All right, so a couple of things that have come out in today's conversation, but perhaps the one I want us to talk about as we wait for Dr. Matanga to join us, and he will in a bit. Which one is that? All right, the ruling yesterday from the court. So let me just go to the back page of the Daily Nation. And civil servants eyeing political seats in the August 9th general election have 2 weeks to resign. This is after the High Court quashed a voters' bid to stop the electoral agency from implementing a law that makes it mandatory for public officers to leave office 6 months to a general election. Mr. Eric Omari Wanyama wanted the High Court to declare Section 43, subsection 5 of the Elections Act unconstitutional on grounds that it discriminates against civil servants. But Justice Anthony Mrima struck out the application after finding that a similar matter was determined 10 years ago by then Justice Isaac Lenaola, who is now a judge of the Supreme Court. The application and the petition are struck out as the issues raised are substantially the same at those determined in 2012 in the case filed by Charles Omanga and Patrick Njuguna. That judgment was never appealed and the orders deemed final, said Justice Murima. And it is a conversation that we've had here before about the law requiring civil servants who wish to engage and be part of elections in August and are running for elective positions to vacate office and to resign by the 9th of September. So the court has thrown out that case that sought to challenge that. So what next for these civil servants, Daniel Wasonga, who perhaps were hoping to continue serving just a little bit longer, because this guy was seeking 3 more months, like the date for resignation should be like 3 months to, an election. And when you look at it and what is involved in the campaigns and all that, I don't know how this is going to be practical anyways, but what is the future of the civil servants now who wish to, enter the race?
Thank you, Miriam. And of course, I will not want to say like Kipchumba Murkomen that the law is very clear, but in this essence, the law is the supreme. So it means that they have nothing but to oblige by whatever the law stipulates. So I think it's a good ruling, owing to the fact that we run the risk of having these civil servants actually utilizing the resources at their disposal to campaign for whichever seat that they will be running for in the August polls. So when you have them actually also resign early enough, it allows them also to concentrate on their campaigns without actually having a conflict of interest, whether to concentrate on campaigns or to concentrate on serving Kenyans and all that. So to me, I believe it is a law that really negates whatever maybe politics of the day and whatever maybe an individual should be doing at their place of work as a civil servant, serving the people of this particular country. Also, maybe the only problem that I have with the law is that it does not also maybe stipulate that a serving deputy president like we have today, or even a serving minister, no, ministers have to resign, but a deputy president, I believe it would have been so much better if it would have also included a deputy president who is willing to vie for a position in the coming election, also to resign. Because remember, Miriam, in as much as they say that the deputy president's position is an elective position, no one actually goes to the ballot to elect a deputy president. He's an appointee of the presidential candidate. Therefore, he comes on the ticket as an appointee and not someone who has been elected through a popular vote. The same thing with the deputy governors. So I believe if we were to amend the constitution and amend the law on resignation of civil servants who are eyeing to vie for a political seat, then we must include deputy presidents and deputy governors, because you realize that these individuals, as long as they are still in the circles of leadership, they will still use the state machinery, the state resources, and actually that will impede their service delivery to the people who they are serving. So I believe the only thing that we should tweak on this particular law is to include the deputy president and the deputy governors so that it applies equally across board. I submit, Miriam.
Very well, thank you. And before we continue further, we've been joined by Dr. David Matanga this morning. Doctor, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Miriam. Thank you very much for hosting us this morning on your show, the Kenya and Africa at a Glance. I am very privileged from the Political Command Center with authority of African affairs and the policies in Africa and in Kenya included, and an expert on Great Lakes region to join you this morning.
All right, very well. So we are looking at this case that was quashed yesterday in the court, and there's a petitioner who went to challenge, and this case has been challenged before. The law that requires that civil servants, resign 6 months, I think, towards the general election. And the petitioner contended that the legal provision is punitive and has a negative impact on youthful aspirants working in the government as they stand to lose their jobs should they join politics. He said it is discriminatory, he added, to force civil servants to resign while their rivals in the private sector and in political positions remain in office. And I think Daniel has brought up the issue of political position, like the deputy governors who are seeking to run for the governorship. They're not required to resign, but perhaps what is the point that this petitioner maybe must have missed in terms of when it comes to working as a civil servant and working in the private sector?
First of all, if you are constitutional, you must remain constitutional. What kills Africa is the shrinkage of constitutionalism. We make constitutions, then eat them, and we forget the constitutions are not static, they are dynamic. We don't want to change them, we only want to eat them where they suit us. So what has happened here in the case of Kenya? Who is the deputy president? He's also part and a parcel of the public officers. So if you are saying a deputy president who is going to use his office to campaign against all other candidates, because the Constitution of Kenya now allows the deputy president up to the last minute. You get my point? That's not constitutionalism. That's gutter constitutionalism. Rubbish, very much rubbish. It should be thrown in the garbage. You should take out that, because one of the problems of Kenya's constitution is that it was cut and paste. A court just cut and paste. With Mboya, I went to court. You saw, they threatened to arrest me when I told them that you are the members of the Constitution. And you went and cut and pasted the Constitution. Kenya, the Kenyan Constitution, Miriam, is not yours. This Constitution is not, it is yours by being a Constitution. But it is not yours in deeds, because it doesn't serve you at all. It's not serving Kenyans properly. How do you allow a deputy president to work up to the last minute? Yeah, for example, now Ruto is going to be the president. Is a deputy president going to campaign in the presidential elections. He's a candidate in the elections. He's using state machinery to campaign. He's driving with security, which Raila and others and the people who are on a candidate like Mr. Kagame. Mr. Kagame has no motorcade. He has no motorcade. He has got only maybe one soldier guarding him, but he doesn't have a motorcade. So tell me, how equal is this constitution? Miriam, I just want to sadden Africans and those watching me this morning that if I become a president of any country in Africa, if I were to be born in another country or another place where there is a vacancy of presidents, I would not select a vice president. Is it a shocker for you? I would want a constitution which is mine, and then rule for 7 years, finish. When I'm going out of the country, I appoint one of the ministers' cabinet to act until I come back. When I'm sick, I will appoint the Speaker of Parliament, but I will not appoint a deputy president. I will not appoint a vice president. If I become a president, because I'm still on earth, you never know. I will be alone like this. Because most of the problems of Africa, most of the conflicts of Africa come from 3 things. And today I'm talking very comfortably, Miriam, as a scholar. I'm not going to talk as a market vendor. I'm talking as a scholar. Because at times when people see us seated here wearing shirts, this, that, t-shirts, they think we are market vendors. No, we went to school, we burnt oil to read. Most of the problems that kill Africa, Miriam and Daniel, emanate from deputy presidents. I can give you several examples. Zimbabwe, Mnangagwa and Mugabe, Mujuru, you saw that. Malawi, Mutharika, and the other man, Dr. Banda, you saw that. DRC Congo, you saw the problem. The prime minister, several prime ministers resigning in a spare of about 5 years. South Sudan, you saw the problem. When you create a two-power center system in any government, in any institution of governance, without checks and balances that can show that the constitutionalism, I'm now talking as a scholar, not a market vendor. Without putting safeguards on governance, you will create a crisis. Ruto addresses meetings in Karen as who? State functions have been turned into two-power center system to the extent that at one point Ruto plagiarized His Excellency President Uhuru Muigai's speech of when COVID had just started. You saw that. Everybody laughed at him until he withdrew, trying to address a state, a parallel state. You are not elected, and I agree with you, Song. You were not elected. You were just appointed to be on my running mate. If Ruto had enough votes, why didn't he stand alone? Uhuru was ready to stand alone, isn't it? As Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. But he said, let me have a running mate, a man that you pick. Then a man you pick in the middle of your picking, he creates a parallel power center system. You break the same government. You go around with white teeth, telling people white teeth, showing us white teeth along the whole way, while president is being insulted. Uhuru is being insulted in front. Miriam, you see when I reach here, my blood boils. You insult President Uhuru Kenyatta. You pay MPs to insult Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, a president that you have used to make money. Hala? 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 You are breaking people's necks in front of Jirongo. A man has brought you to power. A man has allowed you to be his deputy. You stood in front of the court and told people that the Kimiroro Dam money has not been stolen. There is a bank guarantee. An Italian man right now as I speak, a tsunami is coming, an Italian man has gone to international court. He's suing Kenya for over 100 billion shillings for cancellation of the tenders. Where is the bank guarantee? Ruto, where watch one? Ruto, don't, you know, I don't care about your Kenyan politics. Now, I care about the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta. I defended his legacy because I'm writing 3 books. I promised you they are all almost complete. 3. Kenyatta doesn't need to give me permission to write books about his legacy. He didn't pay my school fees. I'm writing 3 good books, Miriam, and they will be read by students, very many worldwide, about the legacy of His Excellency, President Uhuru Kenyatta, in terms of politics, in terms of infrastructure, economy, in terms of governance of a state. And I will add the 4th book in terms of being the best Pan-African statesman. Those books will be available by the end of the tenure of His Excellency, the President. Therefore, I feel sad for me to see the Deputy President seated in a rally like now in Nakuru, and your boss is being insulted by an MP like Ndindi Nyoro, whom I was paying 5,000 shillings per show on my television, who had not even created a single television, not a single chair, not a single table. Those chairs that he sat on are mine. I bought with my money. He did not pay for them. Then he goes to insult the president. When you have done nothing, Miriam, tell me, and they're insulting your president, you are there laughing. So for me, if I become a president anywhere, if God allows me, the first post that I will abolish, Miriam, I'm controversial this morning, is the post of deputy president. I'm alone and alone. I'm responsible and I'm responsible alone. Have you seen how Ruto is saying, it was not me, it was them? When he went to Global, all this money in parastatos, when he put his Kalenjin men in the parastatos, who were siphoning money, how many families in the Rift Valley Kalenjin are crying, are in DCI offices with their files, my dear, with their files heaped up? You blame DCI for that? You blame Ruto for going there to influence them to give tenders to his son called Nick in the pipeline. Kenya pipeline, down here, millions. The boy who is now, who married recently and is busy, again, seducing other girls on Facebook. Tuambiane ukweli. Sindio Mudavadi alileta hii kitu, ukweli iwaambiwe, isemwe, tutaki kudanganyana. Am I right with the word this morning? Tuambiane ukweli. Miriam, was it Uhuru who was telling Ruto to create companies to bring maize from Uganda? Tuambiane ukweli. Is it Uhuru whom the farmers in Eldoret, when the senators went there, whom they accused of bringing maize from Uganda? The maize that turned to be green like the color behind me on my screen. In the stores not near your place in Kisumu itself, from your homeland. It is still there. Nobody has thrown it because you can't throw it in a lake. It will kill our fish. It's there. Do you know that the cereals board has got that maize? It cannot even feed the animals. Who imported that maize? How much money did they take, which they are using for campaign? Is it Uhuru? You said that is Uhuru who went? Uhuru has been a very good man. He has allowed this boy to run, to grow legs. No president in Africa can allow such a Nikopum to grow legs. He could have been cut to size, Walai. Could have been cut to size. I'm sorry. So as a scholar and not as a hawker, I'm not talking as a hawker. I'm talking as a scholar this morning. Because I have several facets, I could also become a grave digger. Yes, because I'm a street boy also. But I'm not a hustler. So when you look at this type of dynamics, a constitution protecting one section, destroying the other section, is not correct constitution. Civil servant is a human being. Is it an animal? Is it a mammal which is different from the sea? Is Ruto different mammal from us? So if you said that, then bring in a clause that could say, when you are going to contest for a post and you are the vice president, therefore you should also resign on 9th. Because you can't allow Ruto now to have state machinery, state broadcasting, state coffers, allowances paid for his teams by the state to campaign, along with people who are not state officers. I therefore find it ridiculous that the judges did not go. If it was something touching Uhuru Kenyatta, they would have opened up their teeth so nicely to strike it out. But now they have, this does not touch Uhuru Kenyatta. Some of the judges there, like Judge Murima, who does not go for holiday at all. I'm asking the Chief Justice, wherever you are on retreat, I know you are writing those reports. Does Justice Murima go on leave? My good sister friend, the one I like most, Mrs. Amadi. Mrs. Amadi Matsanga is asking you that what is the duty roster of judges? Is Judge Murima always on standby, even at midnight, to issue injunctions and to issue orders, stay orders? He comes, is he the only judge? I'm just asking for millions of people because I am a fourth estate. And Mrs. Amadi, today I think I've dressed up like you. I saw your dress and I picked the tie that looks exactly like yours. So answer me. If not, then I will ask the chief of staff of the Chief Justice to tell us whether this lady, this gentleman, is the only man stationed in court to sentence us. Miriam, it's indeed very strange that everywhere you find this man is there. He's the one issuing the order. Don't arrest. You see, let me, before I surrender the platform, Miriam, it baffles me that in Kenya, if you go and rape somebody, you only need to have money and go in the court and tell the court, the CID is coming to arrest me. I want to stay order for the CID not to arrest me and to take my samples for rape. Dear sister, they will give you the order. So when the CIDs knock your door, you show them the order. I've lived in the United Kingdom for 37 years and I still live there. Thanks God to Her Majesty. I think it has taught me quite a lot of things. In the United Kingdom, whether it is midnight, whether you are at the wedding, whether you are at the funeral, the only thing they will not disrupt, Miriam, is when the priests are praying. But they will come and stay in the session, in the session and pray, also open the hymns. So when this last hymn is, until we meet again, is finished, you see them move towards you and say, excuse me, sir, we'd like to talk to you from outside. Whether you are sleeping, you have been working so hard at 3 a.m. in the United Kingdom and you have committed a crime. There is no, I don't know where you got this constitution. It's rubbish. There is no constitution in Africa that says stay order, don't touch me. You have raped someone, you have stolen a bank in the Fik, you have a gun with long range, which is not permitted in Africa, and then you run to court to get a stay. What is it called? It is called what? Wesonga. That order is called what? There's an order, Miriam. They use order that they go and get what is those type of orders. They are called what?
We have the anticipatory, which I think is the least.
Anticipatory. Oh, that's the one. Don't go any further. That's the one. That I anticipate that Miriam is coming to knock on my door. And I have a date of Miriam 1 million. So Miriam is coming to collect it. So what I needed to run quickly is to go to Murima and ask for Murima to give me an anticipatory order to anticipate any chaos. There you are. I have never seen it in even, I don't know where you got it in your constitution. I swear you blame Bazungu for nothing, but let's blame ourselves. I think we are the most stupid people. We as Africans, we are very stupid. We copy things. There is anticipatory order, then there is restraining order. So restrain, don't touch. Anticipatory, they are coming. I committed rape, but they are coming. Please give me an order to protect me so that I can go and even erase the DNA. Isn't it? Isn't it, Miriam? There we are. This is the country that you don't want your constitution to be touched. When the Kenyatta and Raila Odinga say, let's change some things before we go to elections, the MPs are saying, no. Why are you changing it? It's targeting our fees. Everything now you touch in Kenya, it is targeting our fees. Everything you touch inashika mwizi yetu. Wewe unataka kushika mwizi yetu. Mwizi yetu. So we have become a family of waizi. All of us are waizi, including Miriam. Because you are Kenyan. I'm also part of the community. I live here. We are waizi. We are all thieves protecting a thief. If you got the social media, you can see how many people are protecting the thief. You write about money stolen. You say you are writing about Ruto. So we are protecting a thief. A man has brought juju from Enugu, from the son-in-law, and made some Kenyans blind, that they respect him so much because we have become a family of thieves. All of us. Wesonga, I'm sorry, you want to get out of this. You want to get out of this, Miriam. You want to get out of this, I want to get out of this. We are all now thieves, unless we defend ourselves. And the only way to defend yourself is wake up on that day, get your card, go and vote this thief out.
Very true. Until
we do that, Miriam, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you're a thief, because I don't think you have ever stolen, and I don't know whether you know how to steal. But now we have been, you think a Muzungu will know the difference now between Miriam and me? We are all thieves. A Muzungu arriving at the edge of Kenyatta Airport and picks a newspaper headline, 200 billion loss. We are Kenya. What will he say? He will say Kenya is a thief country. It's a thieving, corrupt country. He doesn't, he's not talking about trees only. Kenya means trees. Kenya means those animals. Kenya means those lions. Kenya means those elephants. Kenya means those zebra. Kenya means Matsanga, who is here. If Africa of Mudavadi came, it would have found me here. All of us would have gone down together with Miriam. So we are now classified as thieves. So we are not thieves. You are not a thief. You write something, go just try. Miriam, unfortunately, I have not seen you on Facebook. But if you were on Facebook, you would agree with me of what I go through. I receive 20,000 insults every day. The maximum every day is about 16, 15,000. Every day, that's what I go home with. To the extent that my children have asked me, what is this that you have done in Kenya? That Dad, you have those insults, sure. I tell them that, and you know what? I have a small television station that talks frankly, openly every day. And I happen to be a defender of the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta. So I've been given this blood nose, hippopotamus, elephant, oh my God, crocodile, oh my big stomach, oh my, hey! But now I'm trimming slowly. I'm looking very beautiful. We shall see. Very soon when they see me out in the streets with this body changed like Miriam's, they will say Matsanga is growing thin. Something is wrong with him, isn't it? When you are big, again, you have a problem. But if now when they see me walking on the streets or entering Kempinski Hotel, where I'm going to have my sausage, not these kiosks, because I'm not a hustler. Miriam, I'm sorry. I'm not a hustler. I don't want to be near that thing at all. So that's why I'm bringing in that I'm going to eat my sausage in Kempinski. Fortunately or unfortunately, in Kempinski, the sausage costs. One sausage in Kempinski costs 1,400 if they put some cabbage, some small cabbage and some 1,000 shillings. So very few people can go there to gossip. It is not me who created class struggle. It is Jesus and God who created the class struggle. Otherwise, God could have given us everything. Originally, he had given Adam everything. The world would be very good until he brought Miriam, who went to the garden which was forbidden. We got a class struggle. Started from there. Go and read the Genesis, chapter 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to you, Miriam. Back to you. I hope I've made some sense on the question of the judges should have ruled equality before law, equity before law. All of us are equal. Why do you discriminate the civil servants? And they leave Ruto. That's my point. Because Ruto is going to use our resources up to the last minute. Even when they are going to Kasarani, he will come in the convoy of the government tire. Those tires in the vehicle he's using, depreciation is the government money, better than the other candidates. So it's not a fair election.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Absolutely. And you can see the undue advantage the civil servants perhaps will have over those from the public sector. Daniel Wesonga, I don't know what you would like to add to this. This petitioner had said that, especially for the younger aspirants, this will be a great disadvantage as, the ones who wants to vie and are in private sector, they will continue working until leading up to the election, but for the civil servants, they'll be required to resign early. Does he have a point on that?
Yeah, of course, Miriam, I wouldn't want to dilute whatever Dr. Matsanga has already discussed. I believe he has actually exhausted the discussion quite well. So I wouldn't want to wander into such waters, but I will say that it makes sense of his ruling. But just like Dr. Matsanga said, he would, the judge would have insisted on the issue of equality and fairness. That would have actually served the purpose of that particular ruling. And also in regards to civil service and also private sector, these are two different entities, and it all goes by the whims and the maybe rules of a particular employer. So if the civil service has said that civil servants have to resign maybe 6 months to the election, then that is it. That is how it should be. If a private sector allows its employees to work until the eve to the election, that is it. But the issue here is the matter of equality and fairness. So Miriam, I wouldn't go much further into that because Dr. Matsanga has really expounded on that quite well.
Okay, thank you. And so we shall move on to another matter and what we saw play out yesterday in Parliament, where Ruto and Mudavadi MPs seems to have paralyzed the House. Deputy President William Ruto and his new political allies yesterday pulled a surprise on President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga after they voted to reject the reconstitution of a critical committee of the National Assembly. MPs allied to DP Ruto's United Democratic Alliance, UDA, and Musalia Mudavadi's ANC, and Moses Wetangula's Ford Kenya voted to reject the names proposed to the House Business Committee during the first day of the 6th and last session of the 12th Parliament, dealing a blow to the President's legislative agenda. The House Business Committee controls the National Assembly's agenda, without which operations grind to a halt. The vote came just days after Sunday's political earthquake that saw DP Ruto and Mr. Mudavadi announce a partnership at the Bomas of Kenya. And perhaps, would you say that is the first casualty, Doc? Did you watch that, and what do you make of how things played out yesterday in Kenya's Parliament?
First of all, I am the most disturbed person again. Everything in this country seems to be going differently. But don't worry, after the earthquake, there is always a tsunami. And I believe that that tsunami will legally come. We cannot have negatives all the time, sure. Then there would be no North Pole and South Pole. Let's have some positives. And I pray that the BBI ruling changes everything that we are looking at. That the BBI, these honorable educated judges, sit down and see where this country is heading. If they leave this country, and this is the country, this is the time for the judges in the Supreme Court to be supreme and let this country not to allow us who have been to The Hague before, who have been flying on our own resources to defend Kenya in The Hague again. This is the time the judges of the Supreme Court can look at this constitution. Is there anything that they can do to salvage this situation that is engulfing the Republic of Kenya, where every institution, from the Speaker's office, Parliament, from the IEBC, is not working? We are protecting the fifth. That's it. Let's just agree. We are protecting the fifth. If you look at the younger men who are telling you on social media that we love our fifth, who will be our president, what hatred? Where did they get this hatred from? Mr. Ruto planted hatred in Mount Kenya. He is now planting hatred in Western Kenya. He has planted hatred among the Somalis. He has tried to plant hatred at the coast. It has backfired. The coast people, apart from Governor Mvurya, the rest have realized The man is a con man. A man who tried to build a hotel in Indian Ocean, which has never happened on the East African coast. He built a hotel. In fact, he was eating part of the Indian Ocean. And this is an educated fellow called Dr. William Ruto with a PhD. He went and built a building to go in the Indian Ocean, that when the water returns in the evening, it comes to the sitting room. Have you seen the man you want to elect as a president? We are going back to Moi days. We are going back to Moi days. I'm sorry, you younger people did not see the Moi days. Some of us were here. And unfortunately, our government had been overthrown. And we came at a wrong time. First, Moi welcomed us. Then later, he turned on us and started eating us. One by one, sending one by one, get one, until we lost friends like Amoni Bazira, who were kidnapped from their homes and killed, left in Naivasha to be eaten by animals. May his soul rest in peace. We suffered. Some of us saw the Moi era here, how things work. We are going back that way. And who was driving the force behind this? Ruto and YK92. So you are, in short, bringing back those old habits of which people fought, reasonable people like a Martha Karua, who can tell me she can go and attend a rally where a thief exists. I'm waiting to see Nakuru rally. If Martha Karua attends a rally, then I will know, Miriam, we have lost this country called Kenya. Because a woman like that, who stood firm, who even, I know what she did during the ICC days. I don't want to say it here, because she's very good at taking people to court. And unfortunately, I don't have any cows, any shirt. Maybe she will take my shoes. I don't have anything for you to take me to court. What will I pay? Maybe prison. So, what is here, Miriam? Everything is gone wrong. Look at the parliament. The business committee is the most important committee in the parliament. Now, if you say you are failing it, stopping it from working, then you have dissolved yourselves. Can we therefore dissolve the parliament as early as now and they go home? Honestly, you are in a party and you have created another manifesto and then you call yourself UDA MP. In a party, you are seated there, elected on a different ticket. You tell me, if this is not madness, what do you call this? And you are passing elections. You are passing rules. Let this happen. Let this happen. And you are UDA, a party that does not exist in parliament. Does UDA exist in parliament? Why is the speaker allowing such anomaly? No, why is the speaker allowing such anomaly? Who is to blame? It's the speaker. Yeah, who is to blame? A speaker of National Assembly could be radical. If I were the speaker to make history, like me, and even win this seat of presidency nicely, I will tell those guys to go back and seek mandate. And I will not allow them in the parliament because they are strangers. Did you know that? All UDA members of parliament by the Constitution of Republic of Kenya are strangers. So we don't have a parliament at all. We have a parliament of ODM and the Jubilee that have left in Jubilee. But the rest are strangers in the parliament. Why are we breaking the law? I told you today I'm talking like not a street beggar. the comet, who saw the comets of Julius Caesar top in the sky, talking as a scholar. Don't you see that logic, Miriam, my dear sister? Why doesn't the speaker, no, I'm asking, I'm asking you, Miriam, why doesn't the speaker declare that any member who pronounces the word UDA, he doesn't, you're a stranger? Because you cannot go to national parliament and pronounce UDA, which does not exist. UDA has got only one MP.
Very true.
So where is the logic here? Where Kenyans telling me they went to school and they tell me, Professor Lumumba, when you talk to him, my friend, instead of addressing such an issue, he's addressing the issue of Raila. He doesn't like Raila. That's all. I've asked him, and I always, because he's my friend, I ask him all the time that where there is only one member of parliament who is UDA, who is in parliament, the rest of the people who are wearing T-shirts have violated the constitution. They should not step in that house until the house is over. Standing orders are very clear. Why is the speaker not using the standing orders? So that the members go back and ask their Secretary General.
The speaker himself is compromised, so he loses the moral authority to bring the rest of the members to order when he himself seems to be doing the same thing.
Say that again. Say it again. It's compromised. That's why he's fearing. But the standing orders are very clear that you cease to be a member of parliament after you change from what you wear, which is not in the parliament, to propagating something. Rule of law, you don't expect on the judges to make rulings, but you expect the parliament also to institutionalize these packages and say, no, you are not a Jubilee representative anymore. Why are we paying salary to a shadowway organization? Why are Kenyans paying MPs whom they did not elect? Actually, let me put it right now on the social media to ask. Why is your tax being cut off? You are working very hard. You woke up at 4 a.m. You are still here. And you are paying a member of parliament who is not a member of parliament. He's a ghost worker. Thank you.
Very well, thank you. Now, Wesonga, before you come in on the same, the standoff that we saw yesterday in Parliament now means that the country runs the risk of not having a budget for the 2022-2023 financial year to finance key government operations like paying salaries of civil servants, police and military, and finance the elections. But the DP, Ruto and Mudavadi MPs were unmoved by the expected impact of their actions as they stormed out of the debating chamber chanting earthquake. Have you heard the things that now we do have at stake? One, that will affect government operations, like paying salaries to civil servants, because Parliament has to pass that, and also paying the police and military. Parliament has to pass that, and finance the August elections that even they want so much, but by them doing what they did, that might be affected.
Thank you, Miriam. And of course, that was just an act of being cheeky, and it has no perhaps long-term implications, owing to the fact that UDA and ANC MPs cannot outnumber the Azimio la Umoja MPs. Nonetheless, like Dr. Matsanga has said, it shows, you know, the intensity of the matter is not in the act itself, but the intentions. You know, if they were to do so, and we do not have a mechanism of overturning such a decision, then Kenya will go to the dogs, you know. But I understand that the speaker can call a special sitting to be able to overturn such a particular decision, which was reached after a unanimous vote through acclamation. But Miriam, be as it may, I believe that these will not have happened if Azimio la Umoja MPs maybe had wind of it, that they are going to maybe paralyze the House business, you know. So this is something that happened that caught the Azimio MPs pants down. Of course, in terms of numbers, the UDA, ANC, and Ford Kenya MPs cannot outnumber the Azimio la Umoja MPs. So if it was in a very, very special sitting where every member knows that this is what we are going to debate on, perhaps this will not have happened. But one thing I know is that such a decision is going to be overturned, and the speaker has to be reprimanded. You know, you cannot allow such kind of voting to occur when you know too well that a certain side of the political divide is not well represented in the House, and also owing to the high political temperatures in the country. So to me, like Dr. Matsanga believes, I believe the speaker is also being biased, and we would want to know who is pulling the strings behind the scenes, in that this speaker is behaving in such a particular manner. You remember when they were debating the political parties amendment bill, the speaker was not there, leaving this task to Honorable Chris Omulele, who was actually at some point being overwhelmed by the kind of violence and chaotic scenes that were there in Parliament. So you really wonder, why are we even paying the speaker to do such a shoddy job? Why are we even also paying MPs who claim to be UDA members of Parliament, yet they were elected on Jubilee Party tickets? We've seen members of Parliament who are aligned to President Uhuru Kenyatta and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, who claim to be in Azimio la Umoja, but they have never pronounced that in Parliament that we are Azimio la Umoja MPs or Kieleweke MPs. They have never even said in rallies. Whatever they do say, they say they are in Azimio la Umoja movement, but they have never said, now we are the members of Parliament for Azimio la Umoja, or we are the members of Parliament for Democratic Action Party, or maybe any other party that was not that was non-existent in 2017 general election. So I believe we need to have some order in this country, where we do not glorify impunity, where we do not celebrate actions of sabotage, which are meant to paralyze the working of an organ which is very, very critical in propagating the budgetary allocations of this country. So to me, I believe, Miriam, this was an ill-intended move, and it shows how unpatriotic the UDA affiliated member of Parliament can be to this country. If they continue in such a manner, we might end up having a very, very chaotic presidential term starting from August or going all the way. But one thing I really want to remind them is that even in 2007, Raila Odinga and his ODM party had a majority members of Parliament in the House, but there was no any instance even where they thought of maybe starting a motion to impeach President Mwai Kibaki, and that is the level of patriotism that we need. So if you are going to stop the House Committee group from discussing any particular matter in Parliament, what do you want for the country? What do you wish if citizens cannot be able to get services simply because the police officers have not been paid, the military officers have not been paid? Of what interest, of what benefit is it to the common mwananchi? It is actually working against the security and the wellness of the society itself. So these are not representatives of the people. These are stooges who are there to serve the interest of William Ruto. And these acts should actually be condemned in the strongest term possible, Miriam. I submit.
Okay, and now we know that the standing orders of the National Assembly provide that at the start part that failed to materialize yesterday in Parliament. So we'll wait and see if at all the Speaker will reconvene another session, and perhaps we can see which way forward. Okay, Doc, is there anything you'd like to add to that before we move on to another conversation? Is there anything you'd like to add to that before we move on, or you said you please?
No.
Okay. All right.
I'm waiting for the next one.
Okay. All right. So we do have today the main headline on the Daily Nation, which is Mudavadi Ruto hand Uhuru Raila shock defeat in what promises to be a stormy last session of the 12th Parliament. I think we've looked at that. But of course, today Deputy President William Ruto and Musalia Mudavadi, as Doc, you reminded us there earlier. I've seen it trending right now on Twitter. Nakuru earthquake or something like that. But yesterday, a section of leaders from Western Kenya met with President Uhuru Kenyatta and others. I saw others who are allied to ANC also speak in a different forum, and they came out to say that Musalia Mudavadi will be on the ballot. And they insisted on that. And so that got my head spinning. Will Musalia Mudavadi be on the ballot? All right. Or will Musalia Mudavadi support a deputy president to be on the ballot? My head was just spinning and I could not understand which is which. Maybe perhaps, Doc, you could help us shed some light on this from what we've been seeing happening.
First of all, Miriam, I am an able man who will bring some light. Let me shed some light. Point number one. The strategy of Mudavadi, while being paid by Ruto, was to come to scatter Azimio la Umoja vote of Raila and Uhuru Kenyatta. Ruto did not pay Mudavadi to come into his election or his pact for him to surrender his position that Mudavadi can run, but paid him to scatter the votes. Should there be a rerun, okay, a rerun after none of the groups has garnered 50+1, the Mudavadi and other people could now swing, could be the vote swingers, that they will say, our people, we are already here. Hence, they are fearing this law. You get my point, Miriam. You asked for an explanation. I hope everything is here. They are fearing the coming in of this law, because this law says, make your partnership first lodged at the. So even if there is a rerun, Miriam, you can't run away in the second ballot. You still go with your man. So why Ruto is fearing? Because he had said he wanted a one-party state, one party that is dominant, big, makes decisions like ANC. Not forgetting that you Kenyans did not fight for. You have not had a big upheaval like the Ugandans had when Museveni fundamentally arrived in the capital city. Today, 26th of January 1986. It is today. Did you know that, Miriam? He arrived today and changed everything. So whoever generation has come after Museveni was in power, they have what we call an ideology. They have been indoctrinated in an ideology calling itself Muzei. And now he's also calling them Abazukuru. Abazukuru means grandchildren. You get my point? Because a child who was in 1986, a child who was 1 year old, or on this day, was born on this day, today is 36 years old. Isn't it? Yeah, tell me. 36 years old. So you tell me that you can now, with such people, you can muzzle them and create a party, change anything, but not in Kenya. So in Kenya, why Mudavadi is coming, why Ruto rushed quickly to make a pact, is once this law which is in the Senate passes, if you are not part of it, then you are not. That's why now they have seen another group. I think you have seen another group running to block that even if it passes in the Senate, because they don't have the numbers in the Senate. All senators, Raila has about 37 senators who will vote yes. Yeah, because the only senator for that we thought of Mudavadi is Kaniri, but Kaniri was with the president yesterday. So there is something which is very disturbing, and the most disturbing is they have gone into this. They want to scatter a rerun. They will fire up. Okay, that's one scenario. Will he be on the ballot or not? He might not be on the ballot, but he might be a spoiler. Can he spoil the vote of Azimio? Yes or no? No. Because I can read you the percentages of what Mudavadi got when he was alone in Mulembe Nation. They are not impressive. So Raila still commands a very important liking among the Western counties, among the Western people. Most of the people in Western Kenya are sympathetic to a struggle of liberation. The most second tribe in this country, which is sympathetic to the Kikuyu liberation of Mau Mau, is the Musinde Muliros. They come from there. Masinde Muliro, Jaramogi Odinga, Oneko. Look at them. All of those people, I know them by head. They all come from that area, East, Western, and Nyanza. You show me, apart from Moi, who was a teacher who came from Kalenjin, show me any other Kalenjin leader. Show me. Show me. It was only Moi, Towet, those two who joined Kenyatta in the fight for freedom of this country. But the rest of the people, freedom fighter, Tomboya, Oneko, there are several of them. Osongo, look at them. They all line up there. Burundi Nabwera, Mudi Aori, Masinde Muliro, Jijana Wamarwa, Moroto, the father of this Moroto who makes noise. They are from that western part. Because they were very sympathetic. The guys in the middle of the Rutos were money, they became brokers. Just brokers. Brokered. During Moi's regime, they were brokers. Power brokers. Come all of us. Leave the cows to graze. Leave the maize in the granary. Come to town in Nairobi. But the guys, the Martin Sikukus, look at the fight, Martin Sikuku. Look at the late vice president who came from Wesonga knows this man who bought a farm in Narok. And the Miriam knows the person. That man whose farm was taken by Ruto again. People have forgotten about that vice president, but he was a vice president of Kenya.
Murumbi.
Murumbi, yes.
Yes, Murumbi farm is where what was taken away.
Yes. So look at that. So if you come down again, the western and the eastern, come this way. Porongei, Murumutisia. Have you seen? No, show me Hey, Miriam, you have disappeared. Show me, my sister, show me one person from the Rift Valley, apart from Moi, who went along to fight, to die in Kapenguria, or to make sure that the Kapenguria, the Mau Mau people, were supported. Their chiefs became tribal. They are isolated. The fight of the Kalenjin chiefs was isolated. It had nothing. In fact, they were fighting more. They were fighting the Maasais more than they were fighting the colonial era. That's why you see somewhere the MP of Kitikitiri. That constituency is called what? What? Ngeno. That MP for,
I think it's Emodikir.
Emodikir. You see that? You see the fight in Emodikir. They were fighting that only, but they were not fighting for a nation. And I want you to get that very clearly. That's why you see Raila commands the people who are already convinced that the only way to get the best way is to have Raila Odinga as a president, not Ruto. Because for us, I don't want to talk about this because it touches, it can bring the memories. If you look at the number of lawyers who were finished, does it surprise you that Baraza, Mr. Baraza, and Kenny Wafula became witness procurers? Why? Because 3/4 of the witnesses were lawyers. Does it shock you? They are the ones who witnessed the real killings in the other part of in the Rift. Forget about this way of Naivasha. But that side of the Rift, look at the lawyers who suffered. Wakina, Professor Okema, Onyari. They ran with their shoes, one shoe left behind. They are here. They can give you a story. So there's that sense of, now that Mudavadi has come, now that Mudavadi has joined hands with Mr. Kimeroro Dam. And you know, another aspect you should not forget, that the two men rhyme in their anthropological thinking. Both of them like land so much. Mudavadi was a land surveyor who would be surveying land which to occupy. Medium, to occupy, which one do we go for? He was a land surveyor. The other one was a plant. He started plants. So he has to plant something on that land. So they are thinking rhymes. But as far as the impact, yes, for now, it could sound an earthquake, as you said. But when stabilize the politics, it is a negative. I agree with Marende, who said Mudavadi acted like a suicide bomber. Himself, he took his life on Sunday. And election, media had forgotten this. Oh, I was told to tell the world this. To elect Mudavadi here, government where Mudavadi is, and you give him a ministry of finance, we shall have you know the group that will be doing business in this country? The Asians. Yes.
We don't want to profile.
I'm not profiling, but I'm talking the truth. Sorry, that's it. I'm not profiled, but because I am doing comparative. What happened during the Moi regime? The Ministry of Finance was nicknamed Ministry of Indian Cooperation. I'm not profiling anybody. And if you go by word profiling, it is not the real one, Miriam. It's the Ministry of Indian Cooperation. Miriam, you are saying profiling. I want.
When you pick a specific community to
No. I am a specific community to be. I have not said they should not be given business. I am only giving a comparative. But if I said they should not be given business, then I have committed a crime there. But I am saying those days in Moi's government, when Mudavadi was in the Ministry of Finance, it was one community. They nicknamed the Ministry of Indian Cooperation. Ask any Kenyan who was here. That's all I'm saying. And for you, Miriam, if you want to hide, can I tell you why? In this country today, there are houses that are occupied where you don't step. Now, is that profiling? Do you know there are houses here? Miriam, can I tell you, can I shock you in your own country?
I do know that because there's an apartment just close, because the area I live, there's a lot of Indians. There's an apartment here that has been, have had empty houses for a while now. And when you pass by, they've written in Indian, the language, and you can see vacancy for 2 and 3 bedroom, but they've used the language, meaning that perhaps they don't want Africans to occupy those houses. So it's what is happening. Mama, I think that is, yeah.
It is dangerous here, and this has to be brought to the government. There are apartments in areas where they don't allow a Black African.
It's true. One just close to where I stay.
They don't allow a Black African to take accommodation. Jermaine, this is your country. This is our country. They are also our country. But we must speak about that. Who allows this type of segregation? You are creating a segregation. Then you call it.
The white man did. The white man planted that seed. The British.
We are here. If you think I'm wrong, then people let them call me. Let them call me to any police station. I will take them to to the apartments where they have said Black housemaids can work there. Black gatesmen, security can work, but no Black man can sleep in the apartment. Even if you have $1 million per month, you can't get an apartment. Which law is that in Kenya? In African country, which law?
It's ridiculous, Doc, and I agree with you. I know several
houses. I am speaking my mind. These are things that you should address, you as Kenyans. That is now already you have profiled a community. That if there is anything, people who hate,
that is discrimination, yeah.
Yeah, people who hate these Indians will go under, throw stones on those buildings. Why are we allowing this happening? Where is the Ministry of Gender and Equality? Where are they? They can't see this. You create apartments of Bantu stands, but the Black maids are working there. What's wrong with Africans living with people who are, if you call this, you said for me to have said that Asians will return once you elect Mudavadi as a Minister of Finance. Yeah. It was called a Ministry of Indian Cooperation. I'm not talking about the other bit because you were worried I was going there. No.
Yeah, because we know we do have like Kenyan Asians now, people who have been born and been raised in this country. So that's
they have a tribe. Yes, They have a tribe.
They're part of the Kenyan community, so that is where I was coming from, saying perhaps it shouldn't look like we're trying to profile a community.
No, Miriam.
The issue you were raising, Doc, I understand where you're coming from. You're not trying, but it might seem like that. The issue you were raising and what has just come out of this conversation, we've been continuing to talk about it, I think is separate and apart. And that issue of discrimination, I think, is something that needs to be really, really addressed, because if you're part of the Kenyan community, 50 years you've lived in this country, you can't even speak proper Kiswahili. On top of that, I can't live where you live. That is unacceptable. So that is, apart and separate, that should be looked at from, you shouldn't, as much as we cannot discriminate, we shouldn't discriminate against you. You should also not discriminate against other Kenyans, because you're a Kenyan, you're part of the larger community of Kenyans, so we should find a way of coexisting. That is just where I'm coming from.
Yeah, it is not different from if I had not brought that one, you would have not said this.
And I've talked about it before in previous shows.
We better bring it up and be sorry later. It's better to be, because now, no, honestly, there are apartments where I went and I wanted to buy a property on those apartments. The price was so nice. And the agent told me, no, if I don't want to forge any papers. The agent told me, go and get Mr. Rashim Patel to come here, to pretend to be buying, we shall give you. The agent told me. I looked at him, this man he had stopped his car, we went in with his car, I said, can we go in the car and talk about it? Apartments, yes, true. Apartments in a country that is talking about peace, reconciliation, cohesion, national unity. You have a section of people that say we cannot live with other people.
I've told you, just close to my house, not too far. That sign has been there for 2 years now. They've written it in Indian, in their own language, in Hindu. So me, I can't understand. But what I see is 2 and 3 bedrooms, something available. But they've written it in a way that it's not targeting me, because they've not used the language that I would read and understand that there's a vacancy in that apartment, if at all I wanted to go and look for a house there. So obviously they're discriminating against me as a Kenyan, and they're also Kenyans. So that annoys me, to be honest with you. Annoys me.
Miriam, that goes to show you, it goes to tell you that the Constitution of Republic of Kenya is wrong. It needs an overhaul.
Or maybe because just
the people issue it.
Kenyans don't understand.
The people, yes, the people.
Maybe Kenyans need to talk about this. Yeah.
The people, my sister, the people who give you occupancy certificate, who qualify for these apartments to be occupied, who are they? They are black Kenyans in the council. What are they following? The Constitution. Why don't they query that Constitution? When a person presents his apartments, they have been built for 55 billion Kenya shillings. 5 billion. Now he brings what we call bills of quantity. I don't know, I did some, you must give me a credit. I did something like those things. You must know, bills of quantity. And I said, this is what I have now got near Miriam somewhere. And that building is ready for occupation. Then the officer looks at the file and signs the certificate. You know, in the file, there is a check of about £2 million, 2 million Kenya shillings. for you to sign quickly. That's where the corruption is. And we are creating a society, a monster, slowly by slowly. Medium, that building you are talking about, people will lack where to sleep. One day they will break into the door and go and occupy. I'm telling you, because people, you cannot say we are part of a tribe in Kenya, but then you don't want to live with the tribe. Hello, how can that be? You can't marry. Very few people have dared to marry the Asian people, but the Asians have married our women. So profiling is everywhere, Miriam. It is a very dangerous thing. That's why it created Idi Amin. Reached a point to say, you milk the cow, even eat the udder. And the other take it away, take everything. Now, for us, when we go to marry Indian girls, you tell us we can't marry them. There you are.
All right. Okay. But I think some issues there have come up that are very important. I think that is some of the conversations that we shall continue looking at, even as we strive towards a more integrated country and an integrated Africa, I think, so that we can all live in harmony and love. And so there's a story here on page 8 on the Standard newspaper. Kalonzo's next move may seal Ruto Raila fate in August poll. And I will not even get into the whole story and read it through, but the stakes that Kalonzo right now is holding, a doctor. How important is Kalonzo as far as the political matrix in this country are concerned at this point in time?
You are saying the what?
Kalonzo Musyoka's position right now as far as political matrix is concerned in the Kenyan politics. How important is it?
It is.
Or how important is he right now?
Actually, Kalonzo now is a kingmaker.
He's the bride.
Yes, he's a kingmaker.
Okay.
But the earlier he decides to make it workable, he can become the vice president. Right? If I were Kalonzo, I would strike the best deal with Raila Odinga. Mark you very carefully. I'm speaking this with authority. The people of Mount Kenya are not anymore. They will not get annoyed if President Uhuru Kenyatta tells them, we have had this leadership for 3 consecutive presidents. Let it go somewhere else, but let's have a partner who can unite this country. The people of Mount Kenya, even if Ruto picks from Mount Kenya a running mate, like the running mate, they are trying to tell us that it will be Ndindi Nyoro, or it will be Waiguru, or it will be Karua. No, Mount Kenya people will not vote. Do you know what these Mount Kenya people, do you really know them, you people? Do you know what they are going to do on that day? If they see, Ruto is going to pass, they will stay at home. They will not vote. Voter turnout in Mount Kenya kills Ruto. And what the strategy that Raila is using is each powerful Mount Kenya person has people. The houses that you stay around here in Nairobi, they come from Murang'a. Is it true or not? 3/4 of Nairobi city is from Mount Kenya. Actually, almost all of it. They have landlords. They are landlords. They have tenants. You watch the space. If Ruto thinks he can bulldoze these guys will tell those guys not in areas where Ruto is supposed to get votes, he will get 0. They will stay at home. And they will wake up and say, oh, kura ilipigwa lini? If you think I'm lying, I'm lying. I've watched the pattern of voting here. Why did the Kiambu people wake up the the second round? Kiambu came up and gave Raila Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta almost 2 million votes. You remember? They said, our man has been touched, wounded. Ruto's people gave us nothing almost. They didn't. The second round, they didn't. So be careful about the elections. Those who are not. So if the people of Mount Kenya at the moment, or what they want, if you give them, and you will see, Mr. Kuria is going to shock you. There's no way Kuria is going to stay with Uhuru Kenyatta in retirement in his constituency when he has annoyed him. Utaona, he's coming back on 9th. Kuria is going to go with Raila. You will see. He's warming up towards there. Kaboko has changed already tactics after Sunday. Because these are close allies of President Uhuru Kenyatta. He hasn't. If Kaboko waits and is not called in Sagana 3, it is better to have no vote than to lose a friend you have been with for so many years. Kaboko has not been a friend. Kaboko is the one who refused Mudavadi in 2013. Who refused Mudavadi? Who refused Mudavadi? I was there. Who refused? It's Kaboko. It was myself, Naomi Shaban, Kaboko, and many other people who knocked the door down. Where are you people? I can't tell you most of these things on this show. So, if I were Kalonzo, and you rightly asked a technical question, what would I do? I would quickly go to Raila to say, my friend, the other time we went down. Today I'm putting my last life. Yako ine or tupate hii kitu during the second tenure unaniwachia mimi 2 years in power, achia kitu. Do Mandela. People don't know politics, strategy. Do the Mandela, 3 years. The third year you say, I think I now need to direct Azimio ya Lamoja from home. You become a Nyerere. Who becomes the president? Who becomes the president? Whoever is going to choose that strategy here, I bet will become the president faster than through Ruto. Because Ruto is a younger man, very ambitious, 10 years in power. He could extend the constitution. He could borrow President Museveni's tactics, a bit of it. And among Kenyans and have a majority in the parliament, they change the constitution for life membership. For life what? Have you heard me, Miriam? You will call me where I am if I'm still alive. He said, David, come and there is life membership here. Did you know that? That is going to happen. So, Madam, the person who stands better chances of being a president of the Republic of Kenya in 2027 is the man who will choose Raila Amolo Odinga as his president and a running mate. He becomes a running mate. And Kalonzo is on that course. Kalonzo doesn't have any money. He can have the money. Maybe people can buy him. Wanjigi can put the money down. But for you to be associated with Wanjigi, when Kalonzo cannot manage Wanjigi's behavior, because Wanjigi is more of a cowboy, he needs Raila Odinga.
And Doc, while you, while you were talking about the numerical powers that we do have in certain regions in this country, I've just reminded that you know, we do have a voters registration that is ongoing, and I think we've seen a couple of media houses partnering and going out of their way to sensitize Kenyans on the importance of registering as voters during this period. The last registration IEBC carried out last year, they were updating us on a weekly basis, so we knew how many people have registered in Nairobi and other parts of the country. But strangely, this time around, they're not updating us as they were doing in the last. I don't know what is really going on, because I would be interested to know how many people are registering from the different parts of the country, so that we gauge, perhaps even for IEBC itself to gauge what more can they do with the time that is remaining, so that they're able to create more awareness and get more Kenyans to register for this exercise. But they're not giving us the updates. So I don't know what is going on at Chebukati's office there.
Thank you very much. You have brought a very important issue, Miriam, as we come to the time Yabudi, which means the time, I don't know how you call it in your language, the closing hours. Our language, you have brought a very cardinal issue. The issue, Miriam, is the issue of elections. A bad election in Africa creates wars. As I was saying in the first place, there is no conflict in Africa that does not have wars, that does not produce, that does not have election as one of the areas. There's no military coup at the moment that is coming, which is related to people demonstrating on the streets because the other president cheated them a vote. So where is the problem? The problem is IEBC. And I've been on record telling people in Kenya, unfortunately, I am a Gentile speaking to the Jews. And I've quoted it today. I think Wesonga will know that I am a very good man reader of Bible by 4 a.m. Wesonga, while you are still sleeping. I'm reading, my dear brother. I read the Bible today of Peter, Paul's letter, the letter of Paul to Philippians, chapter 1 to 13 and 4 to 10. You will find there I'm in prison. You have helped me. But there is, this was written after day. God says we spread the message. I'm spreading the message that Miriam, don't ever think of Mr. Wafula Chebukati producing any results. This morning, I had a tit-tat, tit-tat. Did you call it tit-tat? Discussion with Professor Piero Lumumba, who was a classmate of Wafula, because he saw my comment I made, and he said, no, Wafula is a very good man. I said, Professor, do you really know what a good man is? Because I wrote and I said, Wafula Chebukati is a proxy. Is a proxy of William Ruto. So if you are setting your election and your hopes on a free and a fair, transparent election, just first of all, get accommodation in Uganda first. Then hear the results. Have you heard me? Set accommodation either in South Sudan or Uganda or Tanzania nearest, safer. Because the elections already, Miriam, are mad. The printing of papers, ballot papers. Why can't the country like Kenya agree to print ballot papers cheaply somewhere Why? Why do they take all that money to a country that has collapsed, called Greece? Who brought the Greek printer? It is Ruto's people. So there you are. Already, that is already enough for Baba and his lawyer, Orengo. Those men from CIA, they will go. They will be in court. I'm telling you, with another gentleman from Homa Bay. Is he from CIA or Homa Bay? He's from CIA. Atiende Omoro. Those CIA guys will be in court. With another man from Nyamira, Omogini. Another one now has joined for the first time on this side, Professor Ojenda. They will be in court. Miriam, they will be in court. And we shall have another election nullified. How much money is that? Ruto is not going to win this. It's a long way. So first of all, unite the country. Come back and you know the proposal I can make. Let me be on record again. If tomorrow President Uhuru Kenyatta takes it up, fine. But I would have been the person as a scholar brought a theory that if I were the president, I would seek and go back to Parliament, Miriam, seek 6 months extension of my power. And the reasons are after the BBI has ruled, whichever way the BBI rules, and I'm telling you, the BBI position will only will give Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta powers and permission, impetus, the energy, the inertia to move and say, there you are, my country is going to go to pieces. Go back to Parliament and ask for extra time. Now allow Parliament and allow Kenyans extra time of public participation. What type of electoral commission do you want? Print the papers, ballot papers, print everything, put everything in place, then there you are. At the moment, the things are being done ad hoc. Small. Katono. Small. You see, Wafro came and said, by 9th, all of you should be gone. This is the timetable. By 9th, the election will be on 9th October. Have you prepared for it? 9th August, have you prepared for it? You are still telling us we are looking for voters. They said the voters will come 4.5. Have you seen how many weeks? The deadline is when? Isn't it 6th of, is the deadline not 6th of February? Isn't it 6th of February? The deadline is 6th of February.
Yes, indeed. I see Daniel Wasonga is back. Wasonga, good morning.
Yes, very good morning, Miriam. Sorry, I've been having unstable internet from my area, but I'm happy to be back on the conversation.
Okay, Karibu. So what we were looking at and what Doc was talking about is that we're looking at the political matrix and perhaps the position, the importance of the position of Kalonzo Musyoka right now as far as the matrix and the Kenyan politics as right now is concerned. And also, Doc was talking about something and it reminded me, during the last voter registration exercise, IEBC at least could release a weekly update on how far the registration was and how many people had registered. But strangely, I've not seen such updates this time round. So we're just wondering what could be the problem.
Yeah, first and foremost, from where I sit, I believe Kalonzo Musyoka has chances when he joins forces with Azimio la Umoja. You see, he was being kept in One Kenya Alliance whereas Musalia Mudavadi had been in talks with UDA and Deputy President William Ruto for over 2 years. So there was a lot of insincerity. And remember, this is a person who left NASA citing insincerity and conmanship, only to go into One Kenya Alliance. And the master of conmanship and insincerity himself actually takes them to Bomas without their knowledge that the deputy president will attend such a function. So to me, as it is right now, you can see half of One Kenya Alliance has gone to UDA. If Kalonzo Musyoka decides to go all the way to the ballot, then it's going to be perhaps to his own detriment. That's a very, very big risk to take, because there is no guarantee that this year's elections is going to go for a rerun. We've never gone for a rerun because maybe of the 50+1 matrix since we had this new constitution. So I don't believe this year's election is going to be an exception. So I believe he can only be assured to be in the next government either by going to UDA or maybe coming to Azimio la Umoja. But Azimio la Umoja is where Kalonzo Musyoka's interest will be taken after. And also, you see President Uhuru Kenyatta has been working quite well with Kalonzo Musyoka. All in all, you know, all through he has been supporting Kalonzo Musyoka, and they have been having a very, very warm working relationship with him. So it will be a matter of courtesy. I've just read Dr. Matsanga's post today in the morning, and he talks about the Apostle Paul talking about gratitude when you have been given any financial kind of support, or maybe any kind of support, I'll say it. So even in politics, you know, just being grateful that someone has been so nice to you, you know, that brings a very cordial kind of working relationship. So I believe he can always go to Azimio rather than maybe stay alone in the cold, or maybe going to UDA. But as it is, Miriam, we also have to understand that Jimmy Wanjigi is a very, very cheeky fella, and we know, in as much as he also walked out of the Bomas event on Sunday, Jimmy Wanjigi could be as well be a double agent working for William Ruto, and he is the person who is holding Kalonzo Musyoka hostage, insisting that he should go all the way to the ballot. So Kalonzo Musyoka should walk out of such a cocoon. He should walk away from the shadow of Jimmy Wanjigi and be able to make an independent decision. We've had voices from Mukambani, such as Charity Ngilu, telling Kalonzo Musyoka to shelve his presidential ambition and go rally behind Azimio la Umoja so that they form the next government. And Ngilu has never been out of government. For anyone who knows her political journey, she has never been out of government, whichever side she supports. So I believe that is the sound voice that Kalonzo Musyoka should be listening to, because even if he's gonna be going alone, you realize that Raila Odinga has the 3 governors into his fold. William Ruto also has made some little bit of gains in Ukambani region. So it will actually make his presidential candidature quite ineffective to run alone. And therefore, he might not even garner even 500,000 votes. So it will go to West. And that means if he gets like 400,000 votes, and we hold all these other factors constant, then it means one of the individuals, either Raila Odinga or William Ruto, will go with 50+1. So which makes Kalonzo Musyoka again go into political cold. And unlike the other times, this time round he'll be alone, because Raila is on the other side. Maybe he could be the president. Musalia Mudavadi is on the other side. He has already brokered a deal with UDA, and whatever perks he has taken home, he's really satisfied with it. So Miriam, to me, I think Kalonzo Musyoka should go with Azimio la Umoja, so that he works with the president, he works with the former prime minister to make sure that we give Kenya a very, very veritable leadership. In matters IEBC, I believe Wafula Chebukati is laying ground for illegalities, which might actually bungle the next election. Dr. Matsanga has talked about the lawyers that we have in Azimio la Umoja, the likes of Ojenda, the likes of Okongo Mugeni, Orengo, and all those who participated in the process of drafting the new constitution. They know all the loopholes, they know all the lacunas that are there in the constitution. So if Wafula Chebukati is not going to follow the law to the letter, then we risk having the election bungled. And this might just be the beginning, because initially, even as we discussed the matter about BBI in the Supreme Court, you realize that the previous courts, that is the Appellate Court and the High Court, ruled that IEBC lacked the requisite quorum to be able to actually conduct the signature verification process of the BBI. And what does that mean? Like we said previously, it means that even for the 50+ elections that IEBC has conducted, will actually be deemed illegal under the same mantra. So to me, I believe Wafula Chebukati should actually be very careful. And like Dr. Matsanga always says, under Wafula Chebukati, Kenyans should not expect a free, fair, credible, and verifiable election. So to me, I believe there are so many obstacles that are going to meet IEBC in the way, and actually that could cost Kenyans another presidential election. I submit, Miriam.
All right, and that marks the end of our Kenyan topics right now. So I'd like to bring to our attention some news making headlines from across the continent, and we'll start with Zimbabwe, where Zimbabwe's main opposition party has changed its name to sidestep legal challenges and functional rows that threatened its survival. The Movement for Democratic Change, which was formed in 1999, now says it will be known as the Citizens Coalition for Change. Its leader, Nelson Chamisa, said changing the outfit's name, symbol, and color was a response to attempts by the government to suffocate it. And then we move on to South Sudan, where intercommunal violence in Jonglei State, South Sudan, has claimed 32 lives, authorities now say. Jonglei acting Governor Tuong Majok Deng said gunmen from Greater Pibor administrative area attacked villages on Monday. Majok added that the raiders destroyed homes and businesses before driving away hundreds of cattle. The state government and Jonglei communities were appalled by the killings. Some 24 people were injured and 2,006 cattle taken, Majok said. And then we move on to another, storm that seems to be brewing at the World Health Organization. And Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, one of the most recognizable figures of the battle against COVID-19, stood unopposed on Tuesday for the nomination to continue heading the World Health Organization. The first African leader of the UN agency is expected to see his candidacy validated following a secret ballot vote in a session of World Health Organization's executive board. All 194 World Health Organization member states will then have a say when they meet in May on if to allow the other Ethiopian Minister of Health and Foreign Affairs to continue in the role he has held since 2017. And still staying with that story of Ghebreyesus, there's a story I saw here earlier on the Standard, and the chair of a World Health Organization body cut off Ethiopia's envoy on Monday as he tried to deliver a speech criticizing the global organization's leader and postponed a decision on request from Addis Ababa to investigate his actions. The flare-up came up at the World Health Organization's week-long executive board meeting, which is set to discuss a bid by current Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus from Ethiopia's Tigray region for a second term as head of the UN Health Agency. And we know he was allowed the second term yesterday. Now, World Health Organization Executive Board Chair Patrick Amoth said at the start of the hybrid meeting in Geneva that it will set aside a request from Ethiopian government to investigate Tedros for allegedly supporting rebellious forces fighting the Ethiopian government. None of the board's 34 members, which do not include Ethiopia, objected. However, Ethiopia's ambassador to the United Nations in Geneva, Zenebe Kebede Korcho, later sought to deliver a virtual speech criticizing Tedros, but was twice prevented from doing so and eventually cut off after an awkward exchange. And lastly, we end our news from Burkina Faso. The more than a dozen mutinous soldiers declared on Monday on state television that a military junta had seized control of Burkina Faso after detaining the democratically elected president following a day of gun battles in the capital of the West African country. The military coup in a nation that was once a bastion of stability was a third of its kind in the region in the last 18 months, creating upheaval in some of the country's hardest hit by Islamic extremist attacks. Captain Sidsore Kaber Wadrago said the Patriotic Movement for Safeguarding and Restoration has decided to assume its responsibilities before history. The soldiers put an end to President Roch Marc Christian Kabore's presidency because of the deteriorating security situation and the president's inability to manage the crisis, he said. So that is just some of the news we have from the continent of Africa.
Thank you very much, Miriam. First of all, I would like to pick it from briefly. Thank you for the good African news. I picked one item or two, but I will pick the first one. I want to congratulate myself, congratulate my brain, congratulate my hand, congratulate my typewriter, congratulate my English for the delivery of a letter that was received. And I want to thank Patrick Amoth, because I gave him that direct to his email. I sent it to his email. But above all, I want to thank Dr. Tedros. He acknowledged my letter and said, thank you, comrade, for standing by me. That letter went miles and it delivered. I'm not an Ethiopian, but I'm an African. But it is unethical for an African head of state or a prime minister or anybody to undermine another African when we have Kimani, Mr. Kimani in the UN, Kenya's ambassador, struggling to get a seat for Africa. The latest news that have just come from New York now, Ambassador Kimani of the Kenya Republic United Nations Security Council representative has just presented a petition to the United Nations Security Council, Miriam, saying we need a seat in the UN. How can you dare, how dare do you have another stupid African head of state, a stupid African head of state, a stupid African head of state, and I repeat, the third, the fourth time, a stupid African head of state from Ethiopia, a small young man who has become radicalized by big terrorists across in Eritrea, to write a letter removing us from the world stage. Mr. Tedros is not only Ethiopia. Mr. Tedros is for all of us, Jermaine. Mr. Tedros might be an Ethiopian, but he's occupying a place for Africa. If Mr. Tedros is removed from this, let me sit properly and then tell you who is going to take it.
But Doc, sorry to cut you, but initially you had problems by how he was handling the World Health Organization. When did you have a change of heart?
I did not say I have a change of heart. I had problems because I know him as a friend. But when it comes,
he was handling the COVID. Yeah, you did not like the way he handled the COVID situation.
Does it remove Africanism from me? No.
Okay.
No, I'm asking. I had problems because he was not able to handle the COVID. He did not tell us. He was late. But this time, he's not being attacked because he was late. This time, he's being attacked because he's hated by Ethiopian Prime Minister. So as a Pan-African man, myself, I had to stand and defend an African position. Yes, I had difficulties with Dr. Tedros because I have been together with him for a long time. But I cannot afford to write. I did not write even a single letter to the board complaining about Dr. Tedros. I personally wrote to him an email. I said, you better next time change your behaviors. I hope you are going to handle this properly. And honestly, hold it fire fast, Miriam. Things changed. After that, Dr. Tedros changed. because he knew somebody was watching. People were watching who know him. But for this letter publicly to come out, to have anger against another brother of Africa, because he's holding a position not now only as an Ethiopian, he's holding a position as an African position. Because we might not even have it for years to come. We might not have an African heading WHO. We might not have an African heading United Nations, since that other French intelligence officer died, called Kofi Annan. We might not have. Show me who is going to be a Secretary General of United Nations in the future. When? Will you ever have? So, why do you pull down another African, Miriam? Yes, at the beginning, when COVID came, when he went to China, he did not come back to report properly. That one I criticize him. But I did not put it down and resent. I did not write against him. But I wanted him to change, to report things as they are. When did you tell us? How did you know? When did you know? Which disease? You have all the powers of a laboratory to tell Africans and the entire world which disease is coming tomorrow. We have given you all the tax. That was my main point of contention, not the contention of killing a man while he's alive. The letter written by the Prime Minister and the opposition of Ethiopian government to the body, the world body, the executive board, was a killer letter. It was meant to persuade the delegates not to give. But when other people, I am not the only one who wrote, of course. There are many people who wrote, but there was one outstanding African data, which is very clear. One African, I wrote, and I actually, these days you can't say it has not reached. The board, the executive board, the chairman, the Indian lady, person on the board, I know her email. She's acknowledged the receipt. The board itself, the offices of WHO, they acknowledge the receipt. Dr. Tedros himself is here. He acknowledged the receipt of the letter and said, "Thank you, comrade." That's it. That's it. That one we have won, and I'm happy. If I don't praise myself, who else is going to praise me? More so, some people here steal other people's things, and they use them to praise themselves. You don't want me to say that my letter was very, very good. It was read by Museveni, who even put it on his website. Sir, madam, it is there. Go to Museveni State House. The letter is hanging there. Go to Kagame. The letter is hanging. Go to Mnangagwa. Go to State House up here. Here. It is hanging there. Go to Amoth. I sent a letter. Go to Kagwe. I sent a letter to Mutahi Kagwe because he was a minister supposed to speak. Go to Macharia of Foreign Affairs. A copy is there. Yes, that's what we call lobby. Where else what can I do? I did my best. And I'm very happy that I have been vindicated. He has been passed unopposed. So, Mr. Prime Minister Abiy, go and hang yourself in the dam you are building. Go and sink there. Go and fry and sink in that dam. I wish it burst. Then you would know what type of catastrophe you are bringing for Africa. You have been radicalized by Isaias Afwerki, a radical terrorist president on African continent, killing Africans. You don't want me to say that, Miriam, here now? I have to say it. We have military coups coming in Africa again. You don't want me to say? Who is going to say? Nyerere is dead. Jomo Kenyatta is dead. Obote is dead. Oginga is dead. Shikuku is dead. Kwame Nkrumah alienda zamani. Who is going to say Mugabe that is dead? Piero Lumumba and Matsanga are the only voice left now. Piero is a good speaker, motivational in English, but he doesn't say some things. I said, he's the my punchman in English language. I'm the punchman in the facts. Who you give me, I tell the African Union is dead, is finished, gone, mortgage it to France. France has bought us. It pays us rent in order to do things. Didn't I predict? Second point I had was Mali. Didn't I, not Mali, coups in Africa. Miriam, 4 months ago, look, check. You are always keep typing things there. Check and see. I told you all French-speaking countries, there will be coups. Who is changing in French? Who is changing? Who is telling this young man come up? Who? If you have studied international intelligence, you will know. Is France condemning the coups? Has the French condemned the coup? They have kept quiet. They are now changing leaders. They want to take us back. Why do they take more platinum? Why do they take more diamonds? There's a coup in Mali. There was a coup in Guinea. There's a coup in Burkina Faso.
And Doc, because the death that is being investigated in Burkina Faso right now is linked to French, so I'm sure they might not want some truths to come out.
Mama, Miriam, 4 months ago, and let my listeners listen to me. You might not like Matsanga. It is up to you. Go to a transformer and burn yourself. But I'm here to stay with new energy. Whether in Kenya or elsewhere, I will even be deadly. You will hear me on international scene. Who will stop me? Who? Miriam, wacha nikuulize nani? Imefanya nini? Imefanya nini? What have I done? I'm simply speaking for Africa. There's nobody speaking for Africa. Is there a problem? I am simply speaking for Africa. If someone wants to kill me because I'm speaking for Africa, go ahead. I told you there will be coups in French-speaking countries. And then you said, how do you know, Doc? That's exactly what you said. You opened your thing like the way you are opening. No, honestly, we were here on this platform. I have told you that sub-Saharan Africa will be destabilized. I even said over 20 countries will have upheaval. Long time ago, when we were still in another office, I told you. 4 months ago, I said, after killing of Mr. Idris, what did I say? No, honestly, after killing Idris, what did I say on this TV? And I believe, I don't know whether Stephen is there. Bring the clip out. What did I say? I said the French are out to recolonize Africa through military intervention. That's why they are very bitter with the boys in Mali. That's why they are very bitter. Are they bitter with this boy, the son who killed his father and then came to take power? That boy of Chad, he killed his father.
Muhammad Dabi.
Yes, he killed his father. Has he shown any remorse about his father? Has he shown any remorsefulness? No, he took over power and is eating with the French. Are the French complaining? You go and do that in another African country. They will put you in sanctions. No, honestly, France will be the first country.
Doc, you're right. And we've raised the double standards here. And even President Macron was invited to that illegal, inauguration of Idris Déby's son.
Yes.
But, yeah.
He went. For me, I don't need a passport to go to France because I have a superior passport. Fuck it. Sorry. Sorry for that language. I don't need it. I don't need to go to France, to Paris, to do what? To eat frogs? No. Even in my flight, if it is passing through there, I just stomach it. And stay on the, yeah, because I'm not stopped from going there. I've not committed nothing. But I criticize the French policy in Africa. And let the French ambassador know I do it for the good of them to change their policy. Their states in Africa are dying every day. They are going back to the days in 1960s when there were military coups imposed on us in Africa. We don't want this at this hour. You are good people building us a highway. I hope this highway is not also loaded with a coup. Yes, someone has to speak. Nyerere is gone. Now, Magufuli is gone. So who else? Museveni cannot speak. President Uhuru Kenyatta is a diplomat. Matsanga, I'm an activist. Yeah. I am Omutata of international law. Omutata is a good one of national law. But I'm an Omutata. If I see anything, the AU is holding a summit on 5th to 6th of February. The letter is coming out on Friday. I am seeing a roll call of all heads of state who will arrive in Addis Ababa. Let's see how many will go. That letter is coming out very clean. You, instead of going to glorify terrorism and the killing and the radicalization of Ethiopia being guarded by Eritrean troops in a territory where troops are 20 miles in the capital where they can kill our president. Stay on your website and your Zoom, webcam. That is it. Stay there. Stay. Heads of state of Africa changed on Saturday. There is a do or die, the best show in the whole world. 3 hours, 7 professors, one mouth speaking, one of them is here. Watched by 350 million people. We are gonna tell the world how AU has collapsed because it is marking 20 years on Saturday. Are you hearing me, Miriam? 20 years on Saturday. Did you know that? Change of name from African Union, Organization of African Unity to Organization of African Disunity. So we are going to discuss nicely with intelligently the pros, the collapse, what is good, what is bad. 300 million people listening to you. It's not a joke. They have invited people and they have called me. I'm lucky to be one of those. It's going to be a big show. And you think I'm going to spare anybody? I have to tell the truth. We have been bought. We have been mortgaged. We have conflict on the continent of Africa, which we cannot solve. Miriam, if you think I'm wrong, what is happening in Africa? People have come to take us over while we are looking because we are poor. Some of them are paying our school fees for our children. United Arab Emirates, what has it done, Miriam? is here in Africa. Kuwait is here buying people across. Is there no conflict in Somalia and between the Prime Minister Robi and Faramajo? They are quarreling. Why? The same standards. The French are involved. Now they jumped to the question of oil. They said it is a hot subject. Don't start now. Do you see anybody touching that oil of the Indian Ocean? Maybe they are selling the oil quietly. We have a problem here, my sister. So when you look at the coups, another coup, I am telling you, the country going to be in a coup next, a big one that will shock Africa. Today again, don't say I did not say. It's Nigeria. If that chief of staff had not been killed in an airplane, in an air crash with all the commanders, do you know where Nigeria would be now? There would be a military man. And I want to privately tell you, there seems to be a coup coming in Nigeria. Can I tell you why? Can I? Why the Sahara region is having chaos? Corruption. The army has no equipment to fight ISIS. The ISIS cells, sleeper cells, have grown all the way from Ivory Coast, Gambia, Senegal. Have you seen all those states? Ghana, the top parts of all the Sahara region, and they come as far as Eritrea and the South Sudan. Look at the conflict in Sudan, Khartoum. Miriam, 3 people were killed last night or so. Look at that conflict. If you think I'm talking nonsense, you'll see. The fact that Muhammad Gaddafi told you that don't kill me, you are killing me, but the terrorists will come and take over. It has come to pass. Mama, my mother, look at me, my daughter. It is here. It is here, viewers. Oil, gold, platinum. Look at the briefing Museveni made to heads of state. I've got a copy on Congo. Don't ask me how. I'm a very bad boy also. Hallelujah. Thank you very much, Mr. President. That is what we want. That is what we want. Go into Congo and assemble it. On this one, Miriam, look at me. I agree. I agree. Not that I like President Museveni ideas on democracy, and there's a difference. But I don't eat democracy. I need security. If my people are secure, I'm happy. You don't come and kill Ugandans in Kampala and then run around and hide in those. Clear it. He has cleared. I am very happy with the president. His Excellency President Museveni, on that one, go deeper. In fact, if you can reach Kinshasa, I'm happy with you. Take it over. It has no management. And I want to thank the son of the president for having visited Rwanda. One of the beneficiaries, Miriam, is me. Because my business will start. I will not be begging money again. If the border is open, you'll not see me. Because my trucks have been standing there. Mr. President, thank you. Open the border. Then I can have my cash to spend with this I have maybe, I don't know, God paid to the church, send some money to church. You know, Miriam, that's it. We die with dignity. Niangalie, yes, die with dignity. If the border of Rwanda in the Uganda is opened, we shall roll, man. The trucks will be in Mombasa delivering quietly. It might not happen. You earn the little that you can, as long as Ruto does not tell his militia to bomb them. Because I told one of the Tanga group, they said, which color are they? I've now changed the color. But thanks to God, there is another road that is being built between Kigali and Dar es Salaam. There's a road going on there. So don't worry. We need business as Africans. We need to cooperate. We need to work together. We need to avoid coups, military coups. Why is it that the French have allowed us to have military coups, and yet their country are stable? Why are we killing ourselves? But the elections.
Doc, it's not like they've allowed. They are actually instigating some of these coups.
Now, if I agree with you, but the one in Kenya, the one in the elections in Kenya, are we not heading to chaos? We see it going. We have allowed, because your question sprang on that. It links with the bad election.
No, we finished that. We were looking at African news.
But now, you know why topics work together. They work together. If you look at the coup in Guinea-Bissau, for example, why did the coup in Guinea-Bissau take place? Because of a contested elections. People refused to recognize Mr. Conde, President Conde, as the winner. They went to the streets. They demanded a re-election. He extended the constitution. He removed the term limit. You remember?
Yeah, he had a constitutional coup.
Coup, yes.
That is it.
An election, a coup, military man who was seeing the president change all these things. He was aide de camp to the president. He came and said, no, I've overthrown you. Coup number one. Coup number two, no, coup number one was Mali. What is the problem? What caused the problems in Mali? Miriam, with due respect, the elections. Keita was removed because of people, the opposition said the election.
Is it election of France? We have to stick to one key.
The what?
Is it elections or is it France?
It started with France telling the opposition they are fed up with Keita. The opposition were paid to go in the streets. And they went in the streets. The army could, while they were in the streets, the ISIS were killing people. Mali is divided into terrorists and the government, good ones and bad ones. The army came in, said, you have not given us enough courage to fight the terrorists. We want to bring in our own way to fight the terrorists. Keita said no. They said, you are going. They arrested him. The French kept quiet. The French had troops nearby the barracks. They could storm that barracks and stop this governance, democratically elected government from collapsing, isn't it? But the French now sat back and they were whistling. Fanya upesi, fanya upesi. The French are like a Ruto in Kenya are like the French.
And it is the French embassy in Mali that broke out the news that the president had been. But you know, President Boubacar Keita wanted to have a conversation with the Tuaregs, with extremist groups from that part of the country. He wanted to sit down with the terrorists. And I think perhaps the army must have been frustrated because we've been fighting these people. They've killed our servicemen, they've killed our families, and now you want us to sit with them at the table and talk about what? So for a long time, he was flaunting that idea. And I think we talked about it before even the coup happened, and we thought, that is not a good idea. You don't negotiate with a terrorist in certain situations.
Miriam, who told President Keita to negotiate? French. Honestly, the French.
Okay, so now we go back to the basis of my question. Is it French that caused it, or is it elections? Because you have to look at the core of it.
Two factors. Two factors. And no, wait. Two factors. And I am happy today you are in the mood to listen to this. Two factors, and they are working in Kenya here. They are going to work in Kenya. Have you seen how Musalia Mudavadi with a yellow joined Ruto with yellow? Musalia Mudavadi is George Soros. Ruto is George Soros. Ruto did not have his original money. Ruto was recruited by George Soros through his office. Musalia was recruited when he went to US and met Open Society Foundation. Have you seen the NGOs here complaining about Ruto anymore? No, have you seen? Show me one NGO that is talking about Ruto's corruption. They have kept quiet because all of them are sponsored by George Soros. So George Soros has now bought both Mr. Big, what is he called? The Shaba boy called Mudavadi and Ruto. Now they are together. Now, you see? Did you hear what Museveni? What you heard everything? What Mudavadi said? He said a revolution has started. Did you hear that? And it is from here now. Do you hear what Ruto says? Mama Mboga, Mamba Moga, Boda Boda, Baba Baba, Baba. Now he has even grown another big voice. Oh, the disease is coming. Oh, yeah. If you are a deputy president under you are not happy with the president, resign and go and do your politics. People shall give you credit. Even Matsanga could say, hey, yes, this guy is credible. But you are now with the president. You don't want to resign. I know Miriam is going to ask me.
No. Before we resume the Kenyan topics fully, because there's some news that is coming up, and perhaps we give Daniel, we forgot about him, an opportunity to comment on the African stories, and then we can revisit some of these stories and some of the ones.
Some news has come in from where?
Let Daniel finish, have his chance first on the African stories. What stood out for you?
Yes, and I agree first of all with Dr. Masanga when it comes to the interference of the French in West Africa. And it is a two-case scenario. First of all, the French want to control how leaders are actually elected in the Western African countries. But also, to add on that, we also have the internal leadership wrangles, where maybe some leaders have left some part of the country feeling neglected or maybe outmaneuvered. And therefore, this is a two-problem scenario. So in matters Chad and Burkina Faso and all that, I believe the French had a hand in it, but also the leadership of the day, they had local issues to handle with. My attention maybe perhaps will go first of all to Zimbabwe, where now MDC is changing its name to, I think it's CCC. So I believe these are just a strategy to be able to rebrand and be able to do away with the notion that has been haunting the party due to the fight in the financial control of the donor money that is coming in there. So to me, I don't expect something quite new to come from the new MDC. I believe the leadership wrangle that have been there will continue being there. And this is because the money is coming in from donor funds and George Soros, the Open Society Foundation, and they have to fight for it. But giving it a new name is like just putting on new clothes, whereas maybe the problem was that you're not maybe taking a shower. So that might not change the political landscape of Zimbabwe. ZANU-PF is more likely to continue holding having a hold on the political landscape of Zimbabwe. Another thing is the Ethiopian conflict, and of course, Dr. Masanga has exhausted the topic of where the government of Ethiopia through the Prime Minister and the opposition parties had written to the World Health Organization to have Dr. Tedros Adhanom being hosted from the World Health Organization. I believe that was a very, very ill-intended letter, and it is very, very un-African to have leaders writing to an international body to wash their linen in public, dirty linen in public. I believe there would have been other amicable ways of solving these, and without bringing it into public. It really paints a bad picture of the African continent. And that is why I support Dr. Masanga. We might not agree with Dr. Tedros in the way he runs affairs at the World Health Organization, but we must support him because he's an African and he is at the position of privilege, which is very, very available to few Africans. Dr. Masanga has talked about Kofi Annan. He has talked about a few individuals who have been able to serve in quite a mega international organization. So if we are fighting Dr. Tedros, it really means that actually as Africa, we are putting ourselves at a place of disadvantage, Miriam. So to me, I think that was quite unnecessary from the government of Ethiopia.
Okay, and before we conclude the show, the latest, Kenya's ambassador to the United Nations, Martin Kimani, has called for urgent and fundamental reform of the United Nations Security Council to allow the full representation of African countries. And from our local courts here, and from Kahawa Court specifically, the court has released 6 Kenya Power employees unconditionally after prosecution says there is no evidence linking them to January 11th nationwide power outage. And then still staying with the Kenyan courts, court has allowed businesswoman and Jubilee Party sponsor Mary Wambui Mungai to travel to Turkey for the purchase of furniture. A hotel is putting up in Nairobi, so she's been allowed to travel to go look for the
No. Miriam, yeah. Please.
Yes.
You see, we are making it a very terrible mistake. The court allows a person on very serious
who is a flight risk. Who is also a flight risk to leave the country.
She was hiding in a hotel. You know what? I'm a Gentile. When I speak, they say I am. Okay, let me keep quiet. This woman is a flight risk. This woman is Ruto's conduit. This woman is banks money on behalf for President Lungu. The hotel she's talking about is Lungu's hotel. You know, time has, for me, I will start speeding.
Do you mean Edgar Lungu, the former Zambian president?
Yes.
And remember, she's going to Turkey.
She's going to Turkey. She's going to meet Harun Ayadin. This woman was in company with Harun Ayadin and Oscar Sudi. Now you are giving her to go. You people, what type of life is this? What is this? She will not come back. She did not surrender to court when you needed them. I think the government, the DPP, should immediately quickly go and appeal and get a restraining order before she flies. Maybe she's left already. So, look, this woman used to work with a pistol to threaten all of us. A woman carrying a pistol in a club. I saw her with a pistol, that pistol that was intercepted in Gideon Moy's club. We couldn't drink I wanted to disarm her because I'm a commando.
But Doc, you brought up something there because you know she was hidden in that hotel for a while when police was looking for her. So is that could not that have been reason enough perhaps to tell the court that maybe she could be a flight risk? She might go
She
and
is a flight. Look, Miriam, not maybe. She is not going to come back. So if you look at the judge who was given, is the same judge, Murima. No, it is Murima. So I'm asking Miss Chief Justice Comey, is it this man, the only one who is on duty? What is going on in this country? What is going on? A woman who is a flight risk, who can go and stay in Turkey and you will not bring her back. Kenya and Turkey, they don't have a formal extradition order. They have an informal extradition order. When Kenya extradited Abdallah Ockman, Abdallah Ockman, my man, I cry for him. The Kurdistan man who was fighting for freedom for the people of Kurdistan, airlifted from Kenya by President Moi. I've never forgiven that. Look at that. Now you are giving this guy, now Ruto is going to be funded even more. She's going to carry more money for Ruto's campaign because it is dry. Already the couriers in a certain neighboring country are getting ready with their bags. They are coming. I am Paul, a Gentile, speaking to the Jews in Philippians chapter 1 and chapter 4. Thank you. There you are, Miriam. And then the thing that worries me most is the Kenya Power officials. Mr. President, we have only 7 months left, or 6. I think we are in very bad shape. You know what? The courts seem to be saying the opposite of what the president says. The president said anybody caught in this quagmire or connived must be taken seriously. The court said we shall show you the middle finger. And believe me or not, the same judge, you know the same. Let me not laugh again. This world is not my home. Look, the court medium says.
But Doc, it's the DPP's office that found out that you know there's no evidence leaking.
That's why I'm laughing. You know,
the DPP's office.
I am laughing. I'm laughing. Do you know why? Kemiroro Dam. A man stood up in front of the judges. The Chief Justice Maraga was making a speech and said, no, all of you here seated here, all the judges of the Supreme Court and the judiciary, you are wrong. It was not 21 billion, it was 7. The DPP came on national television and said, what did he say? You heard yourself. Don't leave it for me to say.
No, not the DPP. When I said the DPP, I meant the Department of Public Prosecutions, but yes. The DPP, you're referring to the DPP.
But on this one of Cameroon, the DPP was on K24. Don't you remember that? He said DP. Ruto has nothing. Yes.
It's on record, yes.
So from that day, now if Ruto had nothing to do with this case, why is the Italian taking us to court? Why? The Italian is now demanding 100 billion shillings, which is $10 billion. I've calculated simply at the rate of 100.
The same Italian who filed for bankruptcy.
Yeah. You haven't seen the case. It is soon they will seize this aircraft. And our embassy Kenyan embassy in Rome, the building will go. I swear, you are watching this. You don't joke with those guys. Medium, they will seize those aircraft.
Mafios.
Yeah, no, not only them. President Museveni's aircraft was seized on aircraft in Entebbe, on Heathrow Airport. I told you the story already.
Yeah.
Yeah, at night, the British police entered the aircraft with a warrant to say, you have not paid Mr. So and so. So don't be shocked that they will evict our High Commissioner, our ambassador in Rome, and tell him, get your handbag and get out. Because the case is going on slowly, nobody is even telling us. If you ask the Attorney General, Solicitor General, how far are we with this case? The man, the culprit, the suspect who told us that it is not 21 billion, it is 7 billion, is busy campaigning, you're opening his mouth in Nakuru. Now you tell me that you want us to respect leaders. Which leader? I only respect Uhuru Kenyatta, I swear. This other leader, this one, me, not me. Even if we meet him in a hotel, what can he do? What? What? Maybe in Kenya he can threaten me, but up there, outside there. In fact, if we meet in the hotel, I can go for him in that hotel room. In London, I go up. You don't know Matanga. I made the biggest demonstrations. The biggest demonstrations. Miriam, look at this face. The biggest demonstrations that rocked Museveni's life in London. It was me. 5,000 to 6,000, 10,000 Ugandans. Until Museveni had to be evacuated through a ventilator. Where? So I don't take my life easily. That we have reconciled and shaken hands. He has never forgiven me for that.
Say evacuated.
Evacuated, yes.
Good.
He hasn't. That evacuation has never hit him. It doesn't matter, but I'm here. So there is nothing that I don't know. To watch a man called insulting the president, the 48 roles of government, when you watch your president being insulted morning, evening, the president is coming on a newspaper and say, I was disappointed. Watch it to try your video ya Mudavadi when he was getting money somewhere. Me, I have it. I can release it and I go home. Like I released the Ocampo OTP4. I go home. Can I release it? Watch it. Itapatia mzee Azimio. Yeah, because with Azimio, we have been fighters. He was Mwakenya, I was Mwakenya. Sorry. We have met in Sweden, in Norway.
Yeah.
Yes. So on a honest thing, tusaidie Raila Odinga, he will govern this country peacefully. I'm not talking rubbish here, Miriam. You people, you are the younger generation, this is your nation. This other man here, prepare to follow me where I am. Some of you might want, who doesn't want any chaos. Other people like Wesonga, they want. Don't worry. I'm now 67. If they want to do what they want to do, one of my children will stand up. But I'm always ready, prepared for some of these things, casualties. I've done nothing wrong. I saved Museveni from a lot of money. He's got peace in northern Uganda. Although you were there in Juba, you used to see me. Manesi Oto. You know, I negotiated a very good agreement. I'm not a mad man. I'm not mad. I'm a very good man. People in northern Uganda, if you throw me there, they will love me. They will even give me votes. Yes, I brought peace. Nobody could talk openly about the atrocities. I swear. I talked about the Mukura train where people were locked, 1,000 people were locked in a train and the train set on fire. I got the pictures, the graphic memories, all of them, I have them. They are still with me in my cupboard in London. People asking for help. 1,000 people asking for help in a train lock. Commanders are still alive, they are walking. So I have gone through it. But for the sake of peace, you have to shake hands with an enemy, which I did. And today Uganda is peaceful in terms of security, but not peaceful in terms of poko poko. Poko poko is propaganda. You can't do propaganda in Uganda the way other people do. Manasseh and the Sudanese, South Sudanese, now they have transferred the commander who was in Kampala and he has been brought to South Sudan. Major General Rudihio Kindihio is now the man in charge in South Sudan. Yeah. Now, when I start laughing about these things, I know a lot, so let me keep quiet. Is now the man in charge with effect from yesterday.
Very well. So as we come to the end, perhaps Daniel, your final thoughts, and then Doc will conclude for us.
No, look at it, Manasseh. Again, he has written something very nice there. My name means I don't have fitina, but I don't fitina people. Yes, in Acholi, Miriam, don't think as if I don't know the meaning of my name. Why don't you accept? At times you think I say things from where?
I've not even said anything. I'm just listening. When did I say that?
No, I can see from your eyes. My name is Nyekorach. Akuna fitina. Nyeko, no. Nyekorach, no. Sina fitina. That's what Manasseh and Ken Duang, all of them are from Luo. They will tell you, Nye Korach. Sina fitina. I don't have fitina with anybody. I say it as it is.
Okay, I'll come back to you from the political command. I want to hear the last words of Daniel Wesonga, then Doc. I know we can do this until later. Wesonga, your last words.
I'm warming up for Ruto for boxing match.
Yes. And of course, Miriam, I think my parting shot is what we've been advocating for the quite longest time on this particular platform, that Kenyans need to wake up. We need to realize that if we do not actually make the right decision in the upcoming elections, then this country risks being auctioned to the highest bidder and the plunderers and the merchants of corruption. You've just read some breaking news where Mary Wangui has been allowed to fly out of the country. You know, such outrageous rulings by our courts, actually, they are what derails even the fight against corruption. And if we make a mistake, maybe this coming election of electing someone like William Ruto and his accomplices, then we might as well lose this country. And that is why you see people like Dr. Matsanga David, you know, in as much as he has nothing to benefit, even if Kenya elected Raila Odinga or William Ruto, they feel that Kenya being part of the African continent is a country that needs to be preserved. That is why you see even President Uhuru Kenyatta insisting that we should have a movement which is all-inclusive, which preaches peace, unity, and prosperity of this country. And therefore, it is incumbent upon Kenyans of all goodwill. It is their obligation as voters of this country to make sure that we do not elect thieves, we do not elect people who connive to steal from this country, people who break the law and actually benefit from the impunity that they perpetuate. Miriam, I submit.
Thank you so much. Doc, your final words.
Thank you very much. All of you viewers who have been watching us from 10 o'clock, it is exactly 6 minutes to 1 o'clock. We have done very good hours, 4 of them. I want to say from the beginning when we started, we talked about Kenya, the unity of purpose. The theme of our topic today was unity of purpose, which is the theme of His Excellency President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Kenyatta, Raila Odinga are saying unite. That's the theme of Miriam's show this morning. And the theme was unity of purpose. Where is it? Is it here? The current waves of movement from east to west, north to south, uncoordinated, could produce a bad result. One of the bad results, the ingredients, the triggers of a bad election and a conflict on the continent of Africa is elections. A bad election in Africa produces a bad conflict at the end. Is Kenya prepared to have a conflict because of bad preparation of these elections? I still submit to my panel and to the panel that a bad election exists in Africa, in Kenya. A bad preparation, a bad IEBC, a bad laws that even make a criminal who is on a high flight risk criminal, to be given bail to go to Turkey to purchase chairs, not the medicine. If she was going to Turkey for medical treatment because her heart was failing, I have no problem. But bad politics creates problems for countries like Kenya. And Kenya is in that transition. The second point that we made is the African Union. The African Union, is it worth it or not? It is not. On Saturday, it will make 20 years when it turned into African Union. Is it united? The third point is military coups. They are coming like 1970s. Are we safe in Africa? Why is France fueling chaos in most of its former colonies? The last point, therefore, Miriam, is to say thank you very much. And thank you to the viewers, those who have contributed in terms on the chat, millions and millions of you who will pick up these videos. Thank you very much. Continue looking at us. Tomorrow, we have the fire, facing the political fire. And the topic is very clear. Tomorrow evening from 7 o'clock up to 9 o'clock. Professor Piero Lumumba, Professor Paul, David Hoyle, Professor the lady, the Zimbabwean lady from African Union in Washington, and Dr. Kalui. All of us will be on the same panel tomorrow, plus Daniel Wesonga and Miriam, perhaps requested, will be on the panel if she is not busy sleeping at that hour, because that is their time for sleeping. We shall be discussing our elections in Africa, a viable vehicle for stabilization. Our elections in Africa, a viable vehicle for stabilization. Have they stabilized our countries, or they have left us in chaos? Case studies, Libya. Case studies, Guinea, Mali, Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Somalia. You can look at what is happening in Somalia and, of course, Ethiopia, when the Prime Minister decided to bring in a new party. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. From 10 o'clock, I don't know, Miriam has a word.
Yeah, before you go, maybe my internet is not very good now. My Wi-Fi is acting out. So let me just go to, okay, the latest from Nakuru is that Musalia Mudavadi has officially disowned Luya Nation and is now saying that he comes from Elder Maravin. So maybe we will talk about that tomorrow.
He comes from where?
He's saying he does not. He has disowned the Luya Nation. He says he comes from Elder Maravin.
That is very good. Then he can stay there.
We can talk about it tomorrow. For me,
now, in fact, now let me go and remove my trouser.
No, keep your trousers on.
Wesonga, get the clip quickly and send it to me. I want to remove my trouser and kneel down.
All right, Doc.
You know what it means in the Luya community. I am an elder from the Luya community. He says what? He's from Ravin, Aridama Mara. Okay, fine. Maybe he's Gideon Moi's brother.
Elder Maravin.
Oh my God. Okay. Thank you very much. He has disowned us. So we are making noise for nothing. Yeah, no. Well,
there you go, Doc.
Thank you very much. This station is for Africa, with Africa by Africa. Ciao.
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.